Good evening and welcome to the District 50 Spring Conference 2021, Making Connections Matter. Welcome to all dignitaries, toasters, first timers, and participating contestants. Last evening, we began with the first timers reception. Good evening and welcome to the District 50 Spring Conference 2021. Welcome to the District 50 Spring Conference 2021, Making Connections Matter. Welcome to all dignitaries, toasters, first-timers, and participating contestants. Last evening, we began with the first-timers reception, as well as earlier this evening. There will be one tomorrow evening and Saturday morning. Some of us are here for contests. For Wednesday night was for the humorous contest. Let me tell you, you missed a night of laughter. Tonight, there are 7 competitors, one from all 7 divisions for the evaluation contest. Friday evening, the tabletoppers contest will be in session, and Saturday afternoon is the international contest. Now, last evening, there was a networking session that was dynamite. Friday, there will be Atia Perkins as the keynote speaker. Saturday morning, Darwin Lee. And for the lunch and learn would be the international director, Mohammed Kwam. Saturday morning is the annual business meeting and election of the new district leaders. There will be 3 educational sessions simultaneously, and you will have an opportunity to choose at least one. The Hall of Fame will be with the DTM ceremony. Last but not least, the installation of new reigning officers will be presented immediately after the international speech contest. Please reach out to your club members to let them know they can still register. There's a lot of agenda left. Making connections matter. At this time, help me welcome the conference chair for tonight's evaluation contest, Metro Division Area 34 Director, Innovative Planning Level 4, Miss Princess Young.
Thank you so much, Alice, and thank you to all of our Toastmasters, guests, family, and friends who are here tonight for the District 50 Evaluation Contest. Now, I know what you're thinking. Could I possibly have this much fun at a speaking competition on a weeknight? Ladies and gentlemen, yes, you can. I am so thrilled to be your contest chair for this wonderful contest tonight. We have amazing volunteers and amazing content, amazing speakers, and amazing contestants for you all tonight. Also, a special thank you to anyone who's watching on YouTube. We can see you, so thank you for being here. Just kidding, we can't, but we know that you're here. We appreciate you so much. Thank you for watching the live stream. Isn't technology awesome? Also, to all of those of you in the Zoom room, thank you so much. Please double check to make sure where your exits are, the bathrooms. Grab yourself a water if you need it. Buckle up for a good time. Really quick before I introduce our wonderful contest master, I have a few items of business to share with you all. And first off is to give you a quick inspiration. And again, my goal tonight is to make sure that we have food and we get it done and then we get to bed. All right, so we're going to respect your time and have an efficient, effective, and fun time tonight. When I was thinking about tonight's theme, I selected Teamwork Makes the Dream Work. And honestly, I feel like that is a reflection of my entire Toastmasters experience these last several years. Additionally, I feel like it is such a testament to the village that it takes to run a contest, to run a Toastmasters club, to run a district, and to run a community, quite honestly. I am so grateful for my awesome tribe that's here tonight that helped put this contest together and make it happen. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I get even a little choked up, kind of thinking about how on top of it our amazing volunteers have been. So I greatly appreciate you. And again, teamwork makes the dream work. So thank you so much. And also, when I thought about the theme of teamwork makes the dream work, it made me think about exactly this evaluation contest. We all join Toastmasters in order to better our speaking skills, right? To be a better leader, a better communicator, etc. And so when we go up onto that stage and give a speech, it can be intimidating, right? But when you have people in the audience who are rooting for you, which is every other Toastmaster, because we're all here for the same reasons, to better ourselves, it helps you feel at ease. It helps you feel like you're supported. And what's awesome is at Toastmasters, you get that valuable feedback. You get that encouragement to keep going. People aren't going to laugh at you unless it's a humor contest, I guess. But otherwise, we are here for you and we're here to support you. And speaker matched up with an evaluator, that's a team. And that makes you want to keep going and strive for greatness. So again, I hope that you enjoy our Teamwork Makes the Dream Work theme tonight. And also, if I'm being honest, I chose that theme because I love a good rhyme or a good pun. So thank you so much for all of the support. Again, please go find those people that you can have join your team, wherever that is, whatever that might look like, in person or virtual. Find those people around you that can support you and lift you up. With that, I would like to now recognize our wonderful dignitaries. If you are a dignitary and you feel like it's okay to come on camera, I want you to show your beautiful face, okay? I want you to show that wonderful Zoom face of yours. Now next, for those of you who are not a dignitary, I want you to put one arm up and another arm up. I want you to wave them in the air like you just don't care. And let's appreciate our dignitaries. Thank you so, so much for representing the district and supporting the district. Woo! Also, if you are new to Toastmasters, just a quick hint, if you see people doing this isn't just jazz fingers, ladies and gentlemen, no. This is actually the International ASL sign for applause. So if you like what you see and what you hear, please give our wonderful speakers throughout the night an awesome applause. And if you want to wave in the air like you just don't care, that's okay too. Thank you again to our dignitaries. Next, please help me in congratulating all of our 2021-2022 district leader candidates. Nominated candidate, District Director, Distinguished Toastmaster, Walter Price. Floor candidate, District Director, Distinguished Toastmaster, Dwayne Waynick. Nominated candidates all, Program Quality Director, Distinguished Toastmaster, Christy Peterson. Club Growth Director, Distinguished Toastmaster, Manny Garcia. Club Growth Director, Distinguished Toastmaster, Stu Presley. These are our nominated candidates for the Division Director positions. Eastern Division Director, Distinguished Toastmaster, Kelly McMaster. Frontier Division Director, Competent Communicator, Competent Leader, Presentation Mastery Level 5, and Visionary Communicator Level 4, Wally Haboob. Metro Division Director, Distinguished Toastmaster, Deepa Venkat. Plains Division Director, Competent Communicator, Advanced Leader Bronze, Visionary Communicator Level 4, Engaging Humor Level 1, Dan Reeder. Southern Division Director, Distinguished Toastmaster, Wayne Sandy. Town North Division Director, Advanced Communicator Gold, Advanced Leader Bronze, Hank Shavers. And Vista Division Director, Distinguished Toastmaster, Steve Adler. Congrats to all of our candidates. And can I say, if any of you had a business card, I think these amazing titles and accolades would go front and back. You all are stellar. All right, and the last slide on my part before I introduce our wonderful contest master tonight is to share the agenda at a high level with you. So we are going to be, well, we already gave our conference announcements, inspiration, our introduction of dignitaries and candidates. I'll be introducing our contest master in just a second. He'll provide a brief opening remark, and then our contest will begin. We'll have all of our test speaker and then our contestants speak. We'll have that infinite silence for judges to tally the votes. We then get to meet our contestants, guys. We get to talk to them like real people. It's wonderful. And then we're going to do another conference and auction announcement. We will recognize our helpers. We will do district announcements. And then it's time for bed or for the after party, whatever you choose, it's up to you. So please please enjoy the agenda. It is on the D50 website if you need to refer to it later. And with that, it's time for me to hand things off. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. But with that, I would like to introduce the illustrious, the wonderful, the awesome friend of mine, and engaging humor, level 3, innovative planning, level 5, our contest master for tonight, Scott Jordan.
Thank you so much, Princess. Now, speaking about teamwork, this is the third contest that we've worked together as contest chair and contest master. And I have to tell you, each time we've had a fun time while we're doing it, while still learning something new, all while improving our public speaking and leadership skills. Now, we have a lot of good things in store for you tonight, so let's go ahead and get started. Speech contests are an important part of the Toastmasters educational program. Speech contests provide an opportunity for speakers to gain contest experience and to recognize the best speakers as an encouragement to everyone. Contests also provide an opportunity to learn by observing the more proficient speakers who have benefited from their Toastmasters training. We will have one contest tonight, the evaluation speech contest for District 50. Contestants represent each of our 7 divisions: Eastern Division, Frontier Division, Metro Division, Plains Division, Southern Division, Town North Division, and Vista Division. Please give your full attention to the contestants while they are speaking. There will be a minute of silence between each speaker to allow for the judges to mark their ballots, and indefinite silence after all speakers to allow the judges time to tally their ballots, and then both the ballot counters and chief judge to move to the breakout room. At this time, please check that your microphone is on. We okay to start again? Thank you. At this time, please check that your microphone is on mute. Phones or other electronic noise makers are turned off or to silent so that they will not distract the speakers. Please refrain from Zoom chatting, texting, or status updating in any form during the contests. Recording is not permitted without the prior written permission of the contestants. Further, please do not create screenshot photos or audio recordings of any presentation today, or post them on any social media platform without obtaining the speaker's permission. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our Chief Judge for today's contest, Distinguished Toastmaster, Kim Adams. Madam Chief Judge, have all contestants, helpers, and judges been briefed about this contest's rules?
Mr. Contest Master, all judges, contestants, and helpers have been briefed. Let the contest begin.
We will now begin our evaluation speech contest. The speaking order for the evaluation speech contest is contestant number 1, D. Johnson. Contestant number 2, Damon Didier. Contestant number 3, Joe Yoder. Contestant number 4, Susan Ellingberg. Contestant number 5, Natalie Kim. Contestant number 6, Lori O'Connor. Contestant number 7, John Arnott. For this contest, we will first have a featured speaker provide an original 5 to 7 minute speech. After that, the contestants will be escorted by Sergeant at Arms to a breakout room where they will have 5 minutes to write and organize their evaluation of the speech. Then they will return to the contest, one at a time, in the speaking order provided, and they will give their evaluation speech. Senior Sergeant at Arms, please let me know when all audience members are muted except for our featured speaker. Okay, tonight our featured speaker is Mary McMahon. Mary, please pin timer number 1. He will provide you with a green card at 5 minutes, a yellow card at 6 minutes, and a red card at 7 minutes. Please conclude your speech if you see the red card. Mary, are you ready? And can you see the timer?
I don't know who the timer is. Oh, okay. Yes, I can see Arthur. Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you.
Thank you.
Mary McMahon, the 4 distinct currency shifts of the 20th century. Why this matters today. The 4 distinct currency shifts of the 20th century. Why this matters today. Mary McMahon.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, and good evening, my fellow Toastmasters. What is and has been going on in the world is a level of extraordinary change we are not accustomed to, we're not ready for, unaware of really what is going on, and the impact this will have on us in the future. It is not a future we've been promised. Who here was taught about how money works and about how money works in the world? How the world works on a comprehensive basis is how your money is working for you or not working for you, whether you are aware of this principle or not. The monetary system is the major component of our economic system. Even though it appears stable to people, history shows that monetary systems changed periodically in the 20th century, every 20 to 30 years on average. The main difference between our current monetary system and previous monetary system is that for the last 50 years, our current monetary system is entirely based on fiat currency, paper money, versus previous systems that were backed by gold. In previous systems, most countries followed the gold standard, meaning each country guaranteed to redeem its currency in gold at a fixed rate. This made the value of money stable. Historically, fiat money systems have a 100% failure rate. Our current fiat system is based on confidence in the US dollar. A loss of confidence can cause literally a complete financial collapse of this country and life as we know it. The first significant currency shift of the 20th century was in 1914. World War I had started and countries went off the gold standard so they could print money to finance war operations. A return to the gold standard after World War I created many worldwide economic problems, lots of problems. The Weimar Republic of Germany had to destroy their currency to deal with it. The average citizen of Germany had their savings, families, and lives absolutely devastated. The second major currency shift occurred in 1933. We were in the Great Depression. The gold standard was problematic and it deepened the depression. Franklin Delano Roosevelt declared it illegal for individuals to own gold. Gold was dictated to be sold to the government with penalty of a $10,000 fine or 10 years in prison if privately owned gold assets were not sold to the government. The government paid a low price for the gold and repriced it at a higher price. That gap had people lose their life savings. The third currency shift was in 1944. It was clear the world needed a new monetary system able to support a global economy. Allied nations hammered out a new agreement signed in Bretton Woods, New Hampshire in 1944. The Bretton Woods Agreement made the United States dollar the leading global reserve currency in the world. For the first time in history, the US became a global leader. The Bretton Woods Agreement and the Marshall Plan created a prosperity for America in the 1950s and 60s like never before. It was the golden era of the middle class. The fourth significant currency shift occurred in August 1971 with the collapse of the Bretton Woods system. In the late 60s, as the US approached the 70s, stagflation had set in. High inflation and a recession, very bad for the economy and people. The US began devaluing the dollar and kept running deficits, AKA money printing, to fund various projects. The parity between the dollar and gold was the cardinal element of the Bretton Woods Agreement. Every country started quickly to redeem their devaluing dollars for gold, generating a run on US gold reserves. This would have broken our country. Nixon took the US off the gold standard on August 15, 1971. The world has operated in a floating rate fiat monetary system backed by nothing for the last 50 years. This kind of system allows central banks to literally control the economy by printing as much money as the government dictates. This monetary expansion creates a high degree of distortion in the economy. The purchasing power of $1 in 1913 was worth 5 cents in 2013. 5 cents. In the last 12 years, the quantity of currency has almost quintupled to keep the economy going. Today, the money printing press is going into overdrive as we speak. Just like the Weimar Republic in Germany, it is the life savings of the lower and middle classes that gets wiped out. Real wage and economic growth for lower class and middle class has been flat since the 1970s. Most people in this country are falling further and further behind. The debt burden of the poorest 20% of Americans is up nearly 300% in the past 20 years. The wealthy become wealthier, the poor become poorer. This is why there is so much unrest in the country. There will be a next currency shift. The blatant corruption of politics and debt perpetrated by our government and media will ensure that the savings and lives of most Americans will be wiped out. The jobs report for April was abysmal, and inflation rose at a rate of 4.2%, which is astronomical. Did you get a 4.2% raise in April to offset this? This next shift will be even more devastating for most Americans. The value of assets most Americans own, savings, 401ks, IRAs, will be wiped out. What there is to understand, it is imperative that you have a definite plan to protect your assets, your family, your income, your life. You must look at your life through the lens of your life and not through the lens of the media or the government, and take action to protect yourself. There is no one but you who can do a better job of taking care of you and your future. And thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Mary. Sergeant at Arms, please escort all evaluation contestants to the breakout room for 5 minutes of evaluation preparation. Please let me know when that's done.
Mr. Contest Master, all contestants and Sergeant at Arms are in the breakout room.
Thank you. Now let's get to know our featured speaker, Mary McMahon. Mary, thank you so much for speaking tonight. What club are you representing?
I'm representing Leadership Lambda.
That's fantastic. I'm also a member of Leadership Lambda, and we're in the Metro Division. How long have you been in Toastmasters?
I joined Toastmasters January 2021.
Oh, wow. Well, what is your Toastmasters education level?
Not like the rest of you. It's it's presentation mastery level 1.
Right. Well, you've gotten there pretty quick. Well, can you tell us a little bit about what brought you to Toastmasters?
You know, I have always liked speaking, and I have, when I do it, I've always really liked it. And with getting my daughter off to college and not running around the country with volleyball tournaments, she's a D1 athlete studying biomedical engineering. Getting through with that with her, I wanted to step in and I wanted to actually create speaking skills.
That's fantastic. Well, can you tell us a little bit about what you've gained so far just in these few short months?
Well, you know, one of the things I loved Leadership Lambda right off the bat. It's such a fun group, and everyone is so smart, and the words, language creates our world, and it's been super fun for me to engage every single week with the group. I think I've done 4 speeches, and I'm just so excited about being more like the rest of you. In increasing my mastery of presentation in different ways at different levels. And I'm so thrilled to be part of Toastmasters International.
Well, that's great. Now, I don't know that you're from Dallas. I don't think you are, but so what brought you here? And where are you from?
To Dallas. So I grew up in Milwaukee. I was born and raised in Milwaukee, and I really don't like cold weather. So when I was in college, I decided that I was going to make a move, and I moved down to someplace warm called Dallas, Texas. And I've been here ever since, and I enjoy living in Dallas.
That's wonderful. One of the other things I've learned about you in the last couple of months is that you really enjoy traveling. And could you tell us a little bit about that, and maybe what is your favorite place to go?
Well, I do love to travel. I have to say for the last 5 years, my travel has been about my daughter's competitive tournaments across the country and then also regionally. So I've just gotten a break from that. And we've done, you know, with COVID hitting at the same time, travel hasn't been so easy. But Miami Beach is one of my favorite getaways. My commitment to myself was every quarter to work hard and then take a long weekend and just go off to R&R. So Miami Beach is one of our favorite places to go. And I'm so thrilled. We were there in October 2020 and it was a ghost town. And then we were just there a couple of weeks ago. And I'm so thrilled to report that the South Americans are back, the Europeans are back, because Miami Beach is such an interesting place because it's a melting pot of Americans and South Americans and Europeans from all over Europe. So it makes it it's a very crowded place usually, and a very interesting place with all these cultures mixing. So it's just fun, easy to get away. Love it.
What are some of the activities that you like to do there, or restaurants you like to go to?
My favorite restaurant, and if fares were $39 on a round trip, I would go to this restaurant for dinner, just flying there to have dinner. So There's Joey's Italian Cafe in the Wynwood section of Miami. It's the arts district kind of combined with the historic area. It's a little bit, it's fun. It's where they have Art Basel, and it's a fun area. And I just love Joey's. It's a little gem. It's modern. The food is amazing. The service is great. It's just super fun. And I don't know, it just tweaks your heart and you just keep going back.
Wonderful. So your speech contained a lot of information about financial matters. And so I'm assuming you're pretty interested in that. How did you get into that?
Financial matters. I was actually born with it. I was born with two passions, one for shoes and one for anything financial. When I was 8 years old, after playing in the pool and climbing trees and running around like a wild banshee, I would go inside and I would to watch my favorite financial shows. I'm 8 years old, to watch my favorite financial shows on PBS. And I had 5 siblings, and I made sure that I was very focused. I made sure there were no interruptions. And I watched those shows and I loved the financial conversations.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Mary. I think we are wrapping up this segment of our contest, and we should be getting the first contestant back here pretty quickly. So Mary, thanks again for volunteering your talent and time tonight. Please go ahead and turn off your video and mute your microphone.
Thank you, everyone.
So now it's time for our evaluation contestants to provide their evaluations. Senior Sergeant at Arms, please bring contestant number 1 back to the main room when the time is right. Also, attendees, please ensure that your video is off and that your mic is muted during this contest section. Contestant number 1, please ensure that your video is on, your mic is unmuted, and that you can see the timer. Let me know when you are ready.
I am ready.
Thank you. Contestant number 1, D. Johnson. D. Johnson.
Mary, wow, what a great speech, and definitely on point for our time. You opened out wonderfully with asking us a question. Who knows this stuff? Who learned this stuff? How money works here? How money works overseas? Got us thinking. I'll have to say, Mary, you did a wonderful job with your pace. You had great diction, and you had excellent body language. I really loved following the different expressions you had with your hands and your body as you were demonstrating the information that you were conveying to us about the monetary system. I will say, though, that you presented us with a lot of information. So I want to talk to you a little bit about technology. Because you gave us so much information about the monetary system that we must admit we may not know, it would have been great if you had maybe some slides, or you used the space that's available to you in this virtual world that we have to present some information to one side of you so that we can remember those key points that you were trying to tell us. Another thing I would say is that although you had great body language, because you boxed yourself in by sitting down and you were very close to your camera, all of the different things you were doing with your expressions and your hands were lost underneath you and to the side of you in many cases. Additionally, you could have added more simply by standing up and maybe stepping back a little bit. This gives us a full view of everything you're trying to present with your body. Those are the 2 things I'd like to say about how you presented. Now, I will say this, I love the fact that you gave us key points at various dates. For example, in 1944, you said something like the golden era of the middle class. And then in the current times, you said money printed, it went into overdrive. That was amazing. And it helped me remember what it was you were trying to say. I will say that my favorite piece of what you said was, you have to look at life through your lens and not the lens of media. That was great. So overall, wonderful speech, full of jam-packed with information. I would say your diction was great, your posture was great, your body language was great, but using this technology venue that we have to your advantage would have driven your points home more. So put up some slides, maybe stand up for us, take a step back, and keep those one-liners in there. That was amazing. Thank you, and I look forward to hearing from you again. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you. Please turn off your video and mute your microphone. We will now have 1 minute of silence for the judges to mark their ballots. Timer, please time 1 minute. Senior Sergeant at Arms, please go ahead and bring the next contestant from the breakout room when ready. Thank you.
Contest master, 1 minute has expired.
Thank you. Contestant number 2, please ensure that your video is on, your mic is unmuted, and you can see the timer. Let me know when you're ready.
Mr. Contest Master, I am ready.
Thank you. Contestant number 2, Damon Didier. Damon Didier.
Mary, wow, what a speech. I didn't expect a speech today on monetary policy in America, but I have to say it's extremely relevant to what's going on, and I believe it's on a lot of people's minds, just like my own. Talking about the 4 distinct currency shifts of the 20th century, definitely different than a typical conversation or type of speech, but one very relevant. So I want to give you some feedback today, and I think overall you did an excellent job. First off, let's talk about structure. Your structure for such a heady topic was really good and right on. You came out with a very powerful statement. Statements like, not a future we've been promised. That's really gripping. You said, for you or not working for you, whether you're aware of the principles or not of monetary policy. Really, really good. That really speaks to us as listeners and as an audience. Although it looks stable, you said, there have been changes. Comments like that help get us to think about where you're going to take us and what's going on next. That was really smart. You then went on to talk about the 4 main things that happened, the distinct currency shifts that have happened. The first one in 1914, when it was World War I. Then in the second shift in 1933, then 44, then 71. All of these, you backed up with some facts about the situation, which informed us about what's going on, because for the most part, we are lay people. All of that was really intelligent and smartly handled. I thought that was really good. You introduced some jargon that we may not be familiar with. One of them was fiat currency. And you went on to explain that a couple of times and tell us all about it, which helped us as a layperson once again understand what's going on. I will say the topic was one that was tough. So I think one of the opportunities that you have is to consider the audience. The audience in this case being the general public may not have all the knowledge that you have or understand the necessity. So this speech really lends itself well to a call to action about what can we do as lay people, people that might be interested in protecting our finances. Your body language was good for sitting behind the camera. You used a lot of hand language. You did a bowing like this at one point in time. It would have been really cool to see something like flashing money or something, or show us something along those lines. But overall, your body language was really good. The only way I think you could improve in that would be to stand up and to make more eye contact with the screen. one of the opportunities all of us have when it comes to Zoom is we oftentimes look down at our notes and we're reading and trying to do this. When you look directly at the camera, it's far more engaging and so much better when you're talking to the audience on this level, and helps us to interact and engage together a little bit better. Inflation of 4.2% is scary. I know that from business school. And telling all of us about that is extremely important and a great way to end your speech. I think the biggest opportunity is to tell us in a very positive, proactive way how we can fix our finances. In summation, thank you for a great, well-structured speech on a heady topic that you explained really well. Thank you so much, Mary. Mr. Contest Master.
Thank you. Please turn off your video and mute your microphone. We will now have 1 minute of silence for the judges to mark their ballots. Timer, please time 1 minute. Senior Sergeant at Arms, please bring next contestant from the breakout room when ready.
I just lost everybody. What happened?
We're here. Just wait just a moment. We're doing a moment of silence for the judges.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
No problem.
Green went blank and I went, wait a minute.
Contest master, 1 minute has transpired.
Thank you. Contestant number 3, please ensure that your video is on, your mic is unmuted, and you can see the timer. Let me know when you're ready.
I can't see the timer.
Okay, go ahead and see if you can.
Oh, timer number 1, I can
see it.
He disappeared. He went to Sergeant at Arms.
Can you find me here?
I can't find him.
Should be dot timer 1.
Oh, are you Arthur Hinojosa?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Is he going to come on?
So are you ready?
I still can't see him.
Try and pin me.
Oh, there you are.
I'm probably only coming up when I'm speaking. So as soon as I stop speaking, I'm going to go away. You're going to have to pin me.
I don't have that option in the corner of the screen.
Do you have the gallery option?
I have gallery. Go to gallery. Okay. And timer. I apologize, folks, but I don't. Oh!
That's okay.
Him. He is now pinned.
Great. So contestant number 3, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Thank you. Contestant number 3, Joe Yoder. Joe Yoder.
Mary, what a phenomenal speech. The way you present yourself, very authoritarian. If I had to trust somebody with my money, I'm going to you. You present yourself very professionally, very smoothly, very confidently, just consummate. Everything you want in the business world, if you want to know somebody who knows something about money. You present yourself well, you know your information. It's obvious you put a ton of time into this speech because it's well written, it's well researched, it's well prepared. Thank you very much. I felt like I've had a history lesson here in the world economics and really intrigued me to learn more. But there are some things I would also like to suggest this evening that might impact your speech a little more and pull me in a little deeper. One of the things that I was looking for early on was this phrase right here called, "What's in it for me?" And I kept thinking, okay, this is going to be about money, and she's going to tell me how to deal with my money and manage my money and down the future. And you hinted at that early on, but I didn't get into it until the very end when you talked about things at the end, that things were not going well and there might be some trouble down the road. And so I wanted to spend more time there. Something else that I was looking for was what we've referred to as a foundational phrase. This is a phrase that becomes the anchor. It's less than 10 words. You can write it on the back of a business card. And I wanted to hear that phrase so I knew exactly what I'm going to take away from this speech tonight. And so I would suggest when you think this speech that you give some serious thought to building a foundational phrase that says something about here's what's happening, here's how to react to it, and here's how to avoid it. I would also like to suggest that next time that you not read your speech, that you have it down from memory. And I think maybe this was a speech for a boardroom with some slides and PowerPoint presentation, and a timeline would have been excellent so we could see where we were going through history and what happened, the ups and downs of the cycle, so that we would have some frame of reference for what's going on. But I have to tell you, the way you present yourself carries the game here. If I were looking for somebody in my organization to step up in front of a key client or for the board of directors or somebody like that, I'm going to pick you because I know you will do the research. I know that you will prepare yourself, and I know that you're going to deliver on this speech in a way that people are moved, people are touched, and people understand and believe you, and that is the key. So thank you very much. Keep doing it. Keep pushing Toastmasters. You got a good future. Thank you.
Thank you. Please turn off your video and mute your microphone. We will now have 1 minute of silence for the judges to mark their ballots. Timer. Please time 1 minute. Senior Sergeant at Arms, please bring the next contestant from the breakout room when ready. Thank you.
Contest master, 1 minute has transpired.
Thank you. Has contestant number 4 joined the room? I'm not seeing. Oh, there we go. Contestant number 4, please ensure that your video is on, your mic is unmuted, and you can see the timer. Let me know when you are ready.
I can see the timer, and if you can hear me, then I'm ready.
You're very quiet. Your sound is very low, so we want to see if try it again, maybe.
Okay, is that better?
Yes. Thank you. Contestant 4, Susan Ellingberg. Susan Ellingberg.
Mr. Contest Master, so many distinguished guests, and Mary, thank you so much for having me here today. I'm going to call this little chat 4 distinct aspects of Mary's speech on currency. And we'll talk about how, like currency, it all depends on how you use them. I learned so much today. I'm not a numbers person, and, money, I sort of get it. So I learned a ton of things. Clearly, Mary, you are an expert in this field. You knew so many things, and you've made so many good points. Here are my 4 aspects I'd like to go over. Number 1, your hands. I really liked your gestures when you were doing this versus this, or this versus that. That was a really good way to show opposites. Where the whole hand thing falls down, and this is a problem with Zoom and technology, is when your hands get too close to the camera, sometimes all you see is little fingers, like these disembodied fingers, and that's a little odd. Or sometimes your hands get really big. Totally understandable, because we want to do all these lovely gestures. But something you might want to think about as you are planning your gestures, plan where they might go in relation to your face and the camera. Here's the thing number 2, your voice. You have a lovely voice, and you didn't rush. So many speakers rush through their talk, and it gets really hard to follow them, but you had a great pace. You weren't too fast. Now, one thing that I would have liked about your voice, though, if perhaps you had a little more variety, maybe a little more energy, maybe some points were a little louder or a little lower, that would have just been something I would have appreciated a little more. All your lovely factoids. Who knew it was illegal to own gold? Oh my gosh. But there were so many facts that it was sometimes a little hard to follow. So maybe a visual aid like $1 and a nickel, that would have been great. Then you did a great job of tying your topic into the audience. Did you get a 4.25% increase? That was all at the end, though. I would have liked a little more of that at the beginning, so I would have appreciated the history more. So, hands, voice, facts, relevance, they're all great. They all could use a little work. Keep it up, and I look forward to learning more from you later. Thank you.
Thank you. Please turn your video off and mute your microphone. We will now have 1 minute of silence for the judges to mark their ballots. Timer, please time 1 minute. Senior Sergeant at Arms, please bring next contestant from the breakout room when ready.
Contest master, 1 minute has transpired.
Thank you. Contestant number 5, please ensure that your video is on, your mic is unmuted, and you can see the timer. Let me know when you're ready.
I am ready, Mr. Contest Master.
Thank you. Contestant number 5, Natalie Kim. Natalie Kim.
Thank you, Mr. Contest Master, fellow Toastmasters, guests, and especially you, Mary. What a great and informative speech on our monetary system, which, as you said, is a really important foundational system here. You obviously did your research and provided many facts to support your speech, and you knew the content well. The flow of your information throughout the speech was done really well. You started with the history of the monetary system, provided lots of facts there, and then went into the current situation and then what we can expect from the monetary system. So again, flow was really well. I did feel like I got lost some in the speech. So one area you could improve on is structuring your speech so that we know you're out of the introduction and now you're going to tell us about the history. You're going to tell us about the current monetary system and tell us why it's important to us, and then summarize in your conclusion with an overview of your speech. You had really great hand gestures. I saw hand gestures throughout your speech. However, sometimes your hand gestures were low and I couldn't see them. I feel like you could improve here by standing up and using your space more so that when you use hand gestures and you're talking about high inflation, we see the high inflation and we see the low hand gesture as well. You also had good eye contact when you were looking into the camera. However, I did notice that you used your notes quite a bit, and I think you could improve by practicing more and not depending so much on your notes. There was a time that I thought you were getting tripped up some. However, you paused, found your place, and kept going. I thought that was a great recovery and a great way to continue when you might have otherwise threw in or a filler word. You didn't do that, and that was great. In conclusion, great speech, lots of facts. I really enjoyed listening to your speech on our monetary system. It gave me a lot to think about. For your next speech, work on the structure and how you let us know where you're at in the speech. Practice more so that you're not so dependent on your notes. And then use your space a bit better. I enjoyed your speech. And if I had a question about our monetary system, I know who to go to. And with the times and the way they're changing, I hope to hear a speech from you again in the future about our monetary system. Thank you, Contest Master.
Thank you. Please turn off your video and mute your microphone. We will now have 1 minute of silence for the judges to mark their ballots. Timer, please time 1 minute. Senior Sergeant at Arms, please bring next contestant from the breakout room when ready. So we are now doing the 1 minute of silence for the judges to mark their ballots. Thank you.
Contest Master, 1 minute has transpired.
Thank you. Contestant number 6, please ensure that your video is on, your mic is unmuted, and you can see the timer. Let me know when you are ready.
I'm ready.
Thank you. Contestant number 6, Lori O'Connor. Lori O'Connor.
Mary, thank you very much for that very informative speech you gave us today on money over the last 100 years or so. It was an interesting topic for me. I work in accounting, and I was able to follow you very easily through it. Today, I will give you a few things I really liked about your speaking style, a couple of items that might elevate your speech to the next level, and then the thing I liked the best about your speech and something you should incorporate into future speeches. The first thing I liked is you had some very specific gestures throughout your speech. You had one specifically, dollar and gold, talked about them coming together and going on, and paper money. That worked really well within your speech. I liked the strong words you used to describe how it changed over time. The collapse of, abysmal. The wealthy get wealthier and the poorer get poorer. Those resonated very well with me during your speech. I also liked the rhetorical questions you asked throughout your speech. The one that stuck in my mind is, did you get a 4.2% raise this last April? That made me think a little bit. Maybe I should go to my boss and ask them. So you had some good questions to make us think all the way through your speech today. A couple of suggestions that might elevate your speech to the next level or elevate your speaking style are put a little bit of stronger emphasis on some of the words you use. The collapse of instead of the collapse of, or an abysmal. You can work these in to elevate how we receive your speech. And it quintupled. Just a little bit more emphasis on those would be extremely helpful. My next suggestion would be to take a Post-it note and put it right up next to your camera so that when you are looking at the camera, it appears you are looking at us. It just helps a little bit for that focus when you are not checking on your notes. Glance up at the camera itself instead of at the screen, and we see your eyes. I would also suggest using a phone and a headset to get slightly better sound during your speech. We did get a little bit of that AM radio feel from the echoing throughout your speech. The thing I liked the best, however, was you left us with something to think about and something to continue to do. No one can do a better job of taking care of you and your family than you. That will allow us, now we can continue on to practice our money matters. So overall, I liked your physical gestures that you used, your strong words, and those rhetorical questions. My suggestions would be to put a stronger emphasis on certain words, as well as put a sticky note up on your camera and keep those strong conclusions because it'll make us pay attention to you next time. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you. Please turn your video off and mute your microphone. We will now have 1 minute of silence for the judges to mark their ballots. Timer, please time 1 minute. Senior Sergeant at Arms, please bring next contestant from the breakout room when ready. Thank you.
Good evening.
Thank you. We are now doing the 1 minute of silence for the judges.
One minute has transpired, Contest Master.
Thank you. Contestant number 7, please ensure that your video is on, your mic is unmuted, and you can see the timer. Let me know when you're ready.
My video is on, I'm unmuted, and I can see the timer. I'm ready.
Thank you. Contestant number 7, John Arnott. John Arnott.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Mary. Your speech was amazing. There's certain things that you have that you do really, really well. You open with authority. Many times people begin a speech, they're a little timid about it. You opened with authority, and I thought that was excellent. You were poised. You were together. You looked great. One of the things I thought was fantastic was you had this beautiful white backdrop. It wasn't too busy, and then you had a dark dress. And so what happened is when you started, before you said your first word, we were comfortable with you. It was pleasing and it was great. And then you started your speech and you were very articulate and had good volume. I thought that was an excellent way to start the speech. I also kind of thought that I was at an economics forum and you were delivering the keynote. You gave a very detailed speech and you were probably speaking to a very knowledgeable audience. And I'll speak more about that in a little bit. But I thought that really came across that you were an authority when you gave this speech. Your volume and articulation was great. It was a challenging topic to convey. What I would encourage you to do is use the volume you already have, but also use opportunities to go a little softer. Give me some up and down. And if that's challenging for you, especially when we're on Zoom and we have to be a little louder, work with pacing. Speed things up, slow them down. Speed things up to make a point, slow things down to pull us in. You had a real opportunity to pull us in on your key points throughout the body of your speech, and a little change to the pacing would have made that much more effective. You opened the speech with good structure. You had an opening, a body, and a close. And there was a lot of what I'm going to call meat to the speech. You had a significant amount of content. Maybe there was too much content for a 5 to 7 minute speech. This was an authoritative speech. This was a heavy content speech. And if the people watching you give this speech were not knowledgeable about fiat currency and some of your other topics, you may have lost them partway through it. Consider a speech like this to target one main point with 2 or 3 at the most subpoints, and then end with a close. Make it easier for us to engage and to understand what you're saying. Now, Zoom can be great. It's a great tool. We're having this contest this way, works really well, but it also allows us to cheat a little bit. We can have our notes in front of us. We don't have to have everything memorized. The challenge is you've got to come across like you have memorized that speech. And in this case, it was clear your speech was down below you. There was a significant amount of glancing, more glancing than I would expect that if you just had an outline down there, and maybe you did have an outline, but it was distracting to see you continually look down. And the reason it was distracting is because your glasses had a purple hue coming from the screen. So whenever you look down, you could see the change in purple. What I will say is that this was an excellent speech. You are articulate, you're very clear, you're an excellent speaker, and I look forward to seeing your next speech. Thank you.
Thank you. Please turn your video off and mute your microphone. We will now have an indefinite silence for the judges to mark and tally their ballots, for the ballot counters to collect all ballots. Everyone, you may turn on your video at this time, but please keep your sound muted from chatting. We are continuing the indefinite silence to allow judges to complete their ballots and ballot counters to confirm all ballots are cast. We are continuing the indefinite silence to allow judges to complete their ballots and ballot counters to confirm all ballots are cast.
Mr. Contest Master, please ask the Sergeant at Arms to move me and the ballot counters to the breakout room.
Thank you, Madam Chief Judge. Senior Sergeant at Arms at this time will now move our Chief Judge and ballot counters to the breakout room. Please let me know when done.
Mr. Contest Master, the Chief Judge and ballot counters have been moved to the breakout room.
Thank you. Now, let's get to know our contestants. I will call on speakers in the order in which they spoke. We'll start with contestant number 1, D. Johnson. Hey, D.
Hi,
So what division and club are you representing?
Yeah, good question. Storytellers is the club. I never remember the division in the area. I'm in area 75, but
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's
Sorry,
okay.
MJ.
No problem. How long have you been in Toastmasters?
Oh my gosh. Off and on for probably 8 years or so.
That's great. So what is your Toastmasters education level?
Advanced leader bronze, advanced communicator bronze. Like I said, off and on.
Great. And just so you know, you are in the Vista or Vista division. I'm not sure how to say it correctly, but it's VISTA.
See, Scott, you knew and I didn't.
Well, I didn't know. Someone had to prompt me. Well, so you've got some really great hobbies. And one of them is practicing martial arts. Can you can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, actually, I started doing martial arts when I was a kid. My dad put me in it. And then when I got married and had kids, we did it as a family thing. Yeah, so it's kind of like one of those, let's get out and do something together kind of thing. I've competed and it's a lot of fun.
That's wonderful. That sounds great. Well, thank you so much for sharing that information about you. Go ahead and mute your microphone. Thank you. Now to contestant number 2, Damon Didier. Hey, Damon.
Hello.
So what division and club are you representing?
Southern Division, and the club is Speak Like a Pro.
Oh, wow. So how long have you been in Toastmasters?
Great question. I've actually been in Toastmasters for 2 years as of this month.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
And what is your Toastmasters education level?
I'm an IP level 4, so innovative planning level 4.
That's great.
Mhm.
So I see that you are an early adopter of new technologies.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's really, really exciting. Can you tell us about that and what we should be on the lookout for next?
That's a great question. Well, it seems like there's a lot of early adopters on this call with all of the Zoom stuff everyone's been doing in there. So I'm not alone in my pursuit, but I think what's really exciting to me right now is I usually wait for technology like a couple months, but I couldn't wait for the new iPad Pros to come out. So I put a pre-order in on one of those, and it's kind of crazy that my tablet will have more power than my laptop that I do my work on. But it's kind of exciting to know that there's so much power in such a little device. And I think that's kind of the harbinger of the future is these 5 nanometer processors are extremely powerful and, you know, running all these things that we take for granted in our lives. So just fun to be a part of that and have a little piece of that technology in my hands.
That's great. Thank you so much for sharing that about yourself.
Totally.
Next, on to contestant number 3, Joe Yoder. Hey, Joe.
Yeah,
So what division and club are you representing?
I'm from Best of Dallas and Metro Division.
Great. So how long have you been in Toastmasters?
About 6 years.
Wow. And what is your Toastmasters education level?
Well, I'm an advanced communicator silver. I'm a competent leader. I'm also, level 3 of presentation mastery.
Wow, that's great.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, I see that you enjoy antique cars. And there's so many different types of automobiles made over the past 100 years. Tell us about what cars you like most and what would be your dream car to have.
Oh my gosh. Cars that I like the most. That's almost an impossible question for me to answer. It's like asking a chef what's particular spice they like the best. I'll tell you about the car that I have. I have a 1975 Porsche that I've owned since '76.
Wow.
Has well over 250,000 miles on it. And in 2000, I started rebuilding it with the idea I was going to give it to my daughter and let her drive it. And 4 years later, I put her in a Nissan Maxima and kept it. I rebuilt it from the frame up, and I still own it. And it is one of my babies. So.
Well, thank you. I can tell you really love your car, and that's wonderful. Well, thank you so much. And please mute your microphone. Contestant number 4. Hello, Susan Ellenberg. Hello. So what division and club are you representing?
Well, I don't want Dee to feel bad because I have also had trouble in the past remembering my division, but I looked it up. And Dee, just for you, you're in Hasta la Vista, baby division. I personally am in Space, the Final Frontier division.
Great.
Representing Park Central Toastmasters. Wonderful.
That's great. How long have you been in Toastmasters?
Did I mention in my evaluation that I'm not a numbers person? It's 30-something years.
That's great. Well, that's wonderful. So what is your Toastmasters level of education?
Competent communicator, leadership development 3.
Wow. That's great. So I see that you love traveling, and that's something that we've all been missing recently. So if you could tell us about your favorite trip, that would be wonderful.
Oh gosh, so many. But probably my favorite trip would be one of the 7 times I went to England, because London is the home of my heart. And I feel like I'm home there. And about a day and a half in, I start sounding, not to them, but to my friends, I start sounding British. So I probably just sound weird to people who actually live there.
Well, that's great. Yeah, I know Madonna, when she moved there, she started sounding British. So you've got that in common with her.
Well, there's something. That's the only
Right. Well, thank you so much, Susan, and go ahead and mute your microphone. Now for contestant number 5, Natalie Kim. Hey, Natalie.
Hi there.
So what division and club are you representing?
I am proud to represent Toastmasters of Rockwall in the Eastern Division.
Wow, that's wonderful. Thank you. So how long have you been in Toastmasters?
I've been in Toastmasters just a little over 2 years.
That's great. And what is your Toastmasters education level?
I am in Presentation Mastery Level 3.
Wonderful. Now you have an incredible achievement. You went to graduate school, got your MBA, all while simultaneously raising 2 kids and working full time. That's amazing. How did you do it?
Time management and not a lot of sleep. And fortunately, I do have a husband who supports me very well and helped a lot with the kids. My kids were 8 and 10 at the time. And really, when I got my undergrad degree, before I had kids, I thought I'd wait until my kids were teenagers. But then I had some friends who had kids a little older than mine. And I realized when mine were 8 and 10, that might be the time to go back, because as they were going to become teenagers, that actually may be when they need me as much as they did when they were toddlers, even though they would never admit that. So I'm glad I did it while they were 8 and 10. They made it pretty easy on me. And again, my husband took care of a lot of things, but it was challenging, but I'm glad I did it.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. Go ahead and mute your microphone. Now on to contestant number 6, Lori O'Connor. Hey, Lori.
Hi.
So Lori, what division and club are you representing?
Based on a process of elimination, since I know which division John is in, I'm going to say Plains, which means I'm representing High Five Toastmasters.
Great. So how long have you been in Toastmasters?
A little over 10 years.
That's wonderful. So what is your Toastmasters education level?
Distinguished Toastmaster twice, and I'm working on some sort of pathways.
Wow,
3 of them.
That's
I don't know
wonderful.
which one, so.
Well, one of your hobbies I've heard is scuba diving, and that takes guts. That takes guts. So please tell us about that experience and about perhaps your favorite dive.
I have been scuba diving since I was in college. It was a PE course we were allowed to take. So if I have to take PE, I may as well take scuba diving. And probably the most interesting dive I went on was the deep blue hole in Belize, where we were down to about 145 feet before they made us go back up really quickly so that we don't get decompression sickness. But that was an interesting one. Most are around 60, so.
Well, thank you so much. Thanks for sharing that. Go ahead and mute your microphone, and we'll move on to contestant number 7, John Arnott. Hey, John.
Hey, Scott.
So, John, can you tell us what division and club you're representing?
Yes, I'm in the Town North Division, and I'm proudly representing TNT Toastmasters, celebrating 40 years this month.
Wow, that's fantastic. So how long have you been in Toastmasters?
I've been a member of TNT on and off for about 20 years now.
Wow, that's a long time. That's great. So what is your Toastmasters education level?
I'm a Distinguished Toastmaster and Persuasive Influence Level 3.
That's great. So I've heard that you enjoy fencing, and I'm not talking about building fences. And I know from experience, a little bit of experience, that it's a lot more difficult than it may look on TV. Can you tell us about how you got into that and what you like about it?
Oh yeah, it's a great sport. It's called chess on your feet. And I got into it when I was a freshman in high school in New Jersey. That was one of the teams they had. I was this little guy, but I was fast, and it was a sport that just worked for me. You have to be really, really quick. You have to be strategic in how you move, because if you're not careful when you move, someone's going to move back. And it's been a wonderful sport, and it's a lifetime sport. You can continue to do it as you get older.
That's great to know. And thank you so much for sharing that. And go ahead and put your microphone on mute. So we're now moving into our next phase of the meeting and contest. And I'm going to call on Skip Mondragon, Distinguished Toastmaster, and he's going to share some amazing things about the conference and silent auction, etc.
Thank you, Mr. Contest Master. I am delighted to share with you about the virtual auction. If you haven't already gone and checked out 32auctions.com, you must go and visit our site. You can find things like books such as this, written by our very own Ann Barab, and included with that, bidding on her book, if you win that bid, you'll get her to come speak to you. Likewise, our own Denise Castile with her book, and you get to have her come speak to you. Hot air balloon ride, gardening supplies, a virtual personal training session with a master trainer, death by chocolate, this and another array of wonderful gifts. To date, we have raised $1,600 and $2,700. 11 items have already been bought. They are gone. They're off the table. Don't miss your chance. You can see some of our sponsors here, our business sponsors. We want to thank them. They've been very gracious to donate to us. Likewise, many of our Toastmasters have also been very gracious in donating to us. And then, of course, we have our friends of Toastmasters who have very graciously, and these are individuals who don't have any affiliation with Toastmasters. So our site, 32auctions.com, as you can see here, /D50 Spring 2021. Please go place your bids. Thank you, Mr. Contest Master.
Thank you. Go ahead, Abby.
Oh, right. And I'm taking it up here from Skip. Thank you so much. It's been a great contest so far. It's been really good to hear all the different evaluations from our contestants today. I'm learning a few things to put under my belt to take home to my clubs. But now let's talk about the first timer session. We've had 2 amazing sessions so far with first timers, people that are joining the District 50 conference for the first time. And I would like to congratulate our winners, for our raffle winners. They won Amazon gift cards. We had our very own James Meyer, Ron Goes, Anu Tatilemi, Derek King, and Mr. Contest Master Scott Jordan here can tell everybody how much fun he had yesterday during our trivia game, because he came in at 3rd place. But please do come and join us. Tomorrow, we're still going to be here, and Saturday, we have 2 more sessions left. We still have a lot of prizes to give out. So please come on out, tell your friends, tell your club members who have never been to a Toastmaster conference. This is a great time for you to come to meet new people, to come and win some gift cards and win some prizes, learn some Toastmasters facts. That's it for me, and I hope to see some of you tomorrow.
Thank you so much, Abby. And I can tell you from my experience, that meeting for first timers was really fun. The trivia contest was fun, but I will tell you, it was pretty hard. So study up on your Toastmaster news or information before you go take that trivia contest. Now I'd like to start with recognizing our helpers for this contest. And first off that list is our contest chair, Innovative Planning Level 4, Princess Young. Thank you so much, Princess. Then I'd also like to thank our judges. Thank you so much, judges. I know that you're anonymous. We won't ask you to raise your hand or anything, but thank you so much. Also, our timers, Artha Hinosa, Innovative Planning Level 3, and Iveth Valera, Distinguished Toastmaster. Ballot counters, Nancy Bateman, Distinguished Toastmaster, and Phyllis McKenzie, Team Collaboration 5. Our Sergeant at Arms, we had 3 of them and they were fantastic. Senior Sergeant at Arms, Rob Giles, Advanced Communicator Silver, Competent Leader, Leadership Development Level 2. Sergeant at Arms number 2, Hassam Mubarak, Strategic Relationships Level 4. And Sergeant at Arms number 3, Jean Gray, Distinguished Toastmaster. Thanks to all of you. Now, has the Chief Judge returned? I haven't seen her. Okay, so what I'll do at this point is I'll hand it off to our Program Quality Chair, Distinguished Toastmaster, Walter Price, for some updates.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You're doing a fantastic job. Let's give our contest master a hand. He's doing a fantastic job, and we just want to commend you on that. Thank you so much. I'm here to give you the announcement, district announcements. So excited about Princess and her team, Princess Young. As you know, last night we had Kevin, Distinguished Toastmaster Kevin Green, as the contest chair, and his whole team did a phenomenal job. And then tonight, Princess Young has done a fantastic job, and just look to see other great things from her. And then tomorrow night is Table Topics. Table Topics. We have Distinguished Toastmaster Rhonda Bunty, and we're looking for an awesome job as we've had the previous 2 nights. And then, of course, Saturday at 2:30. At 2:30, we're going to have our international contest. As you know, that's the only contest that will go forward past the district. And so we're so excited about that. And Distinguished Toastmaster Naomi Lawler is the chair for that contest and her team. And so we're just excited about our contest. Many of you have asked about the bookstore. Walter and Senior 3, when is the next bookstore drop off? Well, I want you to write this down. This is also on the web. And that's going to be in Plano. And that's going to be on the 22nd. On the 22nd, that's a Saturday from 10 a.m. to noon. 10 a.m. to noon. And so we want to make sure you put that down. If last time you didn't get an opportunity to get your trophies and other items, you will be able to get it at that time. And if you can't get it during that time, be sure to send a note. And if you're going to send somebody to get them for you, be sure to send a note to us so we can give that to that person at the pickup. And again, that's 6545 West Plano, Texas. 6545 West Plano, Texas. That's going to be the drop off as well. And so we want you to be aware of that. We also want to thank our 2 chairs. They haven't been given enough credit for this conference, and there are 2 women I chose. I knew they'll do a fantastic job. Both are Distinguished Toastmasters. Yvonne Broach. Yvonne, put your hand in the air like you care. And also Alice Stewart. Alice, Distinguished Toastmaster Alice Stewart. She's done a fantastic job as well. And they have many chairs that are under them. And you heard them tonight, like Skip, Abby, and others. And so we're just so excited about them. Be sure, we talked about the auction, but be sure, I think Skip talked about 12 p.m. noon is the last time that you can bid. Is that right, Skip? 12 p.m. on Saturday?
That is correct. The auction will close 12 noon on the 15th.
Awesome, awesome. Appreciate you so much. Your team has done a fantastic job, and we want everybody to participate in that. And I now return control back over to our contest master.
Thank you so much, Walter.
Excuse me, contest master.
Sure.
Before we go on, I would just like to say, is the Chief Judge back in the room yet? Okay.
I don't think so.
I'd definitely like to hand the floor over to our Club Growth Director, Christy. Christy, if you have anything you want to share.
I do. There's always opportunity in Club Growth, right? I'm sure most of you have already done this, but just in case, we awarded Bookstore Bucks to well over 100 clubs lately. So if you're somehow still on the fence about how to get into the rest of the conference, do check the email or let me know. And we continue to have opportunities. If you have an open house and add just 2 members, $25 in Bookstore Bucks, you can get some more goodies for your club. We do have the Big Buddy Club support process going on for a smaller club, buddying up with a bigger club, help them get distinguished in May. And that's an opportunity as well to win $25 in Bookstore Bucks. We are indeed starting new clubs. If you're experienced, as many of you are, we see it here in today's screen, we'd love to have you be involved as a club mentor to help a new club in the first 6 months when they get started. And that we are indeed looking for more club mentors. You can put your name in on the website, d50tm.org, send email to me or club mentor at d50tm.org, which will go to our club mentor sponsor chair, Yvonne Broach, who just happens to also be our spring conference chair, co-chair. We are also obviously always looking for more people to be involved and bring one. Each one, reach one. Bring a guest to your clubs. Help us keep on growing. We still have more happening in the district. If you had a guest, be sure that we're following up. The last thing I want to point out is these little cool pins that everybody sports. You know, here you go. Can you see them? They're like a little small, but they are what you get as a booster award. And I suspect that many of you already qualify. Check these out. Go to the homepage, d50tm.org, scroll all the way to the bottom, and you're going to see the click on links to find out what you need to do. It will be something like 6 of 9. And you've probably already done one right here tonight by being a part of a contest. And from a program quality perspective, likely you've helped us in club growth as part of the demo team. There are many things that you've likely already done. Check it out. You may qualify for one of these pins, whether it's club growth or others. And we'd love to recognize you for the things that you're doing to support District 50. Again, it's right there on the bottom of the webpage. You can find the club growth one. There's even a fun video with our whole team telling you about each of those 9 tasks. So click on that link that says Club Growth Booster Award, and you can see that video from earlier in the Toastmaster year and check out what you may have already completed. At this point, I want to hand over. Walter, do you have further announcements or back to our district director, distinguished Toastmaster? You do? Okay, well, perfect. Let me hand back to program quality director, distinguished Toastmaster, Walter Price.
Thank you so much, Christy. Really appreciate you and all the work that you're doing. Just real quickly, just want to tell you about our programs, and I know many of you have participated in those, the Mastery Mondays, which first and third Mondays. And we want you to be a part of that. The 17th and also the 3rd of this month, we had Mastery Mondays. And then, of course, we have Webinar Wednesdays. Webinar Wednesday, a new program that we started this year. And that's always the 2nd and 4th Wednesday. 2nd and 4th Wednesday. That is to help the club itself. And so that's the reason why we have that. And Mastery Mondays is to help the individual leader as well. We haven't been able to do it this month as much because we have the 12th of May, which we have contests, as well as the 26th of May. And then, of course, finally, the new member orientation. We started the 2nd and 4th Friday, the 2nd and 4th Friday. And the next one are May 14th and May 28th. As you know, we're doing a contest on May 14th, so we won't be doing the new member orientation. And finally, is Pathways Open House. We brought Pathways Open House to the district level. And of course, that is the 1st and 3rd Thursday, and the next one's May 6th and May 20th. And I now return control over to our district director, none other than Monica Durden. Let's give her a hand. Well, I think Monica has stepped out for a second. Is our chief judge back in the room?
I am back, everyone. If our chief judge is not back in the room, I would just like to mention that yesterday an email went out in regards to our club presidents and VP of Eds. If you are a current club president or VP of Ed, did you receive an email last night? Please govern yourselves accordingly. This is very important to establish a quorum for our business meeting. If you have not had the opportunity to register for the business meeting, please do so as soon as you can. Is our chief judge back? And I know that Princess told me, okay, I know Princess told me that she came prepared tonight. So I will turn the meeting over to our contest chair, Ms. Princess Young.
Madam District Director, she is actually in the breakout room at this moment.
Okay, so she's getting ready. All right, that's okay. That's okay, Rob. I would just like to recognize people who are on the call who are working diligently to make sure our conference goes off successfully. And I know that we're all to recognize Siobhan as well as Alice earlier. I would like to take the opportunity, yes, who are not voting, Cynthia, no, if you're not voting, you will be allowed to watch it during live stream. So again, if you are a member of the DL, which is the district leadership, you will attend the business meeting. There's no charge to attend the business meeting. Once you register via that email, you'll receive the link to the business meeting, okay? So club presidents, VP of Eds, area directors, once you register via that link, you will receive an email. The email has not gone out to anybody. It's not a secret. We're just trying to make sure that the right people are in the room. This helps us to establish a quorum. This helps us get in and out of the business meeting. So the only people who are there are voting members, okay? Some people are like, well, why is it so secret? There are no secrets in D50, I promise you. We want you to know everything what's going on, and you can watch it via live stream, okay? That being said, I would like to talk to MJ and Allison because they're serving as our awards, Outstanding Officer Awards. MJ and Allison, can you tell us your duties as well as how was the process in serving?
As our responsibility as a team, Allison being the head, I have to confess, I followed her lead. Hey, she's taught me well. Took her 43 years, but she's taught me well. Just do what she says, and I'm good. We reached out to all of the districts and to all of the clubs, and we asked you, who was your outstanding officers? And many of you have responded. And I'd like to start by saying thank you. Thank you for acknowledging the hard work that your team members have done. COVID has been unprecedented. We all agreed to that. But what some of these officers have done has just been phenomenal. I learned an awful lot just reading what some of you have done for your club. And that is more than I could hope for. We spent many of hours going over all of the nominations, and there were a little over 100. So we're very proud of that. And this is you acknowledging your members. And that's what it's all about. It was hard to do. Like I said, it took a lot of hours, a lot of discussion, a lot of back and forth, a lot of phone calls. And Monica, it was rewarding to be part of this team and to see this great district and why it is what it is. And that is because of you, the members. You have made District 50 the talk of international because of the work that you do for your individual clubs and for yourself. Look at the number of educations a lot of you clubs have received. Wow, that is awesome. That is awesome. And that is why we say, you build the member, you build the club. And if you don't think so, look at District 50 and you'll find that it is true. because you're not by yourself. You have many of friends here in this conference room that will help you. All you have to do is reach out. Some of us don't know that you need help, but we'll be glad to do that if we know. Yes, there's many clubs that need club coaches, but they'll talk about that later. I'm sure my wife has something that she would like to say, so excuse me while I turn the floor over to her.
Very briefly, I'd like to thank our team for their hard work with helping determine the most outstanding club officers from all of these amazing entries. Our team to this season was Denise Castile, Royce Standish, Robin Triggs, MJ Presley, Patty Kim, and Helen Williams. I want to thank all of them for their hard work on these outstanding officers. And I'd like to also add Nancy Bateman for going through all of the club websites and checking them over again. Thank you, everyone, for your responses. And back to you now, Monica.
All right. Thank you so much, Allison and MJ. What a testament. So as you guys know and see, there are a lot of parts when it comes to pulling off a conference. So if you're interested in helping with the next conference, please reach out. There are so many opportunities still available, okay? So with that being said, and I hear that everyone's back in the room, and I know you guys are tired of hearing the fluff, right? You want to know who won? Oh, that's okay. I think it's time to go now, Mr. Contest Master. That's okay. They don't need to know who won. But with that being said, I'll go ahead and turn it back over to our contest master. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Monica. Give Princess a moment to start sharing her slides. Thank you. And now, the moment we've all been waiting for, the announcement of winners. For the evaluation contest for District 50, we had 0 disqualifications based on time, eligibility, and originality. Our 3rd place winner is Damon Didier. Our 2nd place winner is Lori O'Connor. And our 1st place winner is John Arnott. Congratulations to all winners, and thank you to all contestants for participating. This contest is a